Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a how to build on Mazino. So Mazino is actually pretty good. He of course came from Tower God Rerun. He doesn't really there's a few places he can be used, but there's places where he excels and there's places where he's usable, but I wouldn't really recommend it. He's usable for Rat. You do need Yorm, the new red Yorm. You sort of need the most optimal team and you need quite a bit of RNG on your side, but it is doable. Demon King he's absurd for. I would highly recommend if you haven't used him for Demon King. You're looking at like 13 mil, level like 2 skills and level 3 skills, which is like, it's insane. You can just one shot the thing and it becomes extremely easy, and I would just recommend it because it just makes the content just feel like it's nothing now, which is nice. And then dogs, he's really good for dogs. You've got that tankiness that he provides to the team. You got the shield, you got the damage. You're really everything you need. Like a tank, you got DPS, support, really nice. Now to his stats. He has pretty standard stats apart from his crit damage, which is absurdly high, and his crit resistance, which is surprisingly low. Once again, probably makes sense. This guy has a shield that gives him 80% damage reduction, and then when the shields are removed on your, let's say, all your allies, you get 20% damage reduction for like 2 turns. Per ally that lost the shield, so say 3 allies lost the shield, you get 60% damage reduction for 2 turns, which is pretty good. Pitch rate 105%, it's good. It's like standard, I guess, now. 82% resistance, it's on the lower side, but it's still good. Crit chance is low, crit damage is insanely high. Not on par with like Vittoria or Demon King melee, but it's still quite high. 89% crit resistance, it's low. I don't know why, I guess because he's quite strong, so they made his crit resistance quite low. His crit defense is like high though. 113 is like, I guess that's standard now, but that's still quite high compared to other characters. Life still being 15%, it's fine. It's like standard stuff. Onto his skills. His skills are pretty basic. You got Skybreak, 50% attack when using skill, and you get a 2 times crit damage boost. Multipliers 200, 300, and 500, sort of the same as that Yeon single target skill. Same multipliers, just different effects. Onto the other one now. Which is another single-sided skill, which lowers defense-related stats by 20%. It does 2 times crit damage increase and 50% increased damage dealt when attacking an enemy that is debuffed. That's why he's quite good for Rat. You can debuff with like Yorm or Valenti or whoever you're using to debuff, and use to attack with Mazino, and boom, you've got 50% damage increase with this skill, which is really good. And also he gets so much crit chance from his relic. But this skill's okay. It's really the skill you would set up first before you use this skill. Only because his crit chance is really low, so you sort of need something to ensure, or at least to increase your chances of critting, because he does struggle to crit without stacks of his relic, which is kind of sad. So his ultimate, increase all stats of the hero by 5%, that does go up by 5% per ult level, I think capping out at about 30%. Apply Shinsu barrier on all allies for 2 turns, inflicts damage equal to 350%, and this is what the shield is. Shinsu barrier creates a barrier equal to 300% of the hero's initial attack. So what initial attack is when you initially go into battle, sort of like Blue Chainsaw Roxy's. When she goes into battle, that's the stat they take, not and when you've got any of the additional buffs or anything like that on top of it. And you get 8% damage, reduced damage taken. It's just 8% damage taken. So it's just a damage taken minus 80%. I think that's so it doesn't count as damage reduction, so you can stack damage reduction on top of it, which is why I think it's super broken. Because if not, 80% damage reduction is the damage reduction cap you can get in the entire game. And he gets that on his shield. Of course, it is 30% of initial attack, so in geared, the shield's going to be more than ungeared, and in ungeared, the shield's probably about 30k, which is still pretty decent. Unfortunately, it is a blue buff, meaning that characters like Esterosa, like that, if you were to go first, you attack, you lose your shield, you lose your taunt, because he does have a taunt with his passive as well. Onto his passive, which actually isn't too long for, like, I guess you'd say like the main character of a collaboration, which is sort of what he's become here. Increase all stats of the hero by 5% for each ally participating in a battle. That is the same as Milim. He just doesn't care who he's on the team with, he still gets stats for it, which is pretty good. 15% crit chance, it's needed, he needs it. Same with crit damage, crit resistance, crit defense, lifesteal, all of them. Taunts all enemies for 1 turn at the start of the battle. That's also pretty useful as well, especially because he has a shield, and then we'll get into it a little bit in a second. You can sort of see parts of the passive here. At the start of the battle, applies Power of the King on the hero, and then Shinsu barrier on all allies for 2 turns. The Power of the King is a 30% attack related stat boost. Damage dealt when using single target skills has been increased by 30%. And then Shinsu Barrier creates a shield equal to 300% of attack of the hero's initial attack on allies, which is what we saw. So this Power of the King is a permanent buff that lasts the entire battle. So here's, you see his stats, they're like, they're not the highest. 261 crit damage, you add a 30% on top of that, you add the 15% from his other part of his passive, you're looking at an extra 45%. His crit damage is actually over 300% turn 1, as long as you've got 3 allies. That's it. That's all the criteria. You have 3 allies, boom, you got 300% crit damage with attack crit. Crit chance wise, it's decent. It's not the highest, but it's decent. You're adding 45% to that. It's less than Demi, less than Shion, less than Demon King Melee, but it's still higher than most other characters. And I do see why his stats are maybe a little bit lower than what they should be, to make up for, once again, the passive he's got. And I guess they're trying not to make a mistake like they did with Milim, where Milim has the same passive, but she's already got cracked out her mind stats, so she's even stronger than what she initially was. The start of the allies' turn, decrease the hero's damage taken by 20% for each Shinsu barrier removed for 2 turns. That stacks up to 4 times, and you can reset it. For example, you play the ultimate, you get the shield again. When the shields are removed, you get the buffs again. So it's quite nice. You can refresh the shield. It's not just a one-turn thing, like Roxy from the Troubles Reincarnated collaboration, where turn 1, when her shield's gone, that's it. It's gone forever. It can't be recycled. But his shield can be recycled, which is really nice to see. It also means in places like PvE, he's a lot more usable, and the shield's a lot more valuable, especially on like Rat, because you can stop the Petrify if all the damage goes into the shield, which can be clutch, especially once again, you don't have you don't have passive cleanse. I can't speak today. Because you don't have passive cleanse, you can't remove them super easily. And then we've got, if the hero survives with 50% HP or less, the hero removes all debuffs from himself, fully recovers HP, and becomes invincible for 1 turn. This can actually be triggered with Yeon's passive. What I mean is, if you're attacking Yeon's passive, once again, the reflect, right? You lose, you go under 50%, you full heal, and then turn 1 you get the buff, which is really broken. And I'm pretty sure that lasts until the next turn. Or, no, I think it disappears that same turn. Then Anne gains Ruler of the Tower for 2 turns. Ruler of the Tower is the insane thing. You get 100% increased damage with single target skills and a 50% crit chance boost. Passive Relic, pretty basic. Increase the hero's crit chance by 50% for each hero that dies in battle. That is not just your side, that is also the enemy side. And it counts in Demonic Beasts for like side towers or the inactive dog in dogs. It counts for them as well. So, once again, on Rat, each turn you get 150% crit chance. On dogs, you get 100% crit chance every phase, which is insane. And it's really cool to see. And actually, let me show you the ultimate scaling. The damage doesn't scale too high, because it doesn't have an effect, means the ultimate itself isn't going to do too much damage, even with all the boosts he's got, but you still get, once again, the all-stat boost, which is going to be handy, as well as getting the shield back as well. Unfortunately, all his buffs are blue, apart from the invincibility buff, the ruler buff, and the King of the Tower buff. Those 3 buffs are the only grey ones, which is good, because they're really the super impactful ones, compared to all the others. And the gear giving him attack crit. Only because I use him in PvE, I use him for Demon King, so it's worth me giving him attack crit gear. HP defense gear would sort of be a waste, because he gives himself all these stats. He's quite tanky as it is. He's got damage reduction. If I put him on a humans team's got a lot of bulk to it already. It would just be a waste. So give him attack crit, just sort of to make the most out of his damage. And yeah, onto his outfits once again. Got all of them just to make the most out of his stats. Once again, collaboration characters, they're always pretty worth grabbing the outfits for. And then once again, you have a relic, which it's insane stats. It is also upgraded as well, but it's just standard stuff for a collaboration relic. It's got really high CC. When you upgrade it, the upgrade isn't much anyway, because it's the same for every relic, but it's still worth it for a little bit extra CC. Anyway, he's a good character if you got him. Definitely worth a level up. He could become meta later on, especially if we get a few good more humans. We'll be fine. We'll have a good human meta for a little while, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.